Hi friends, so my name is Harpreet Singh. By profession, I am an attorney, works at a non-profit law firm. So this is Shilpa. So she is my wife. You have probably seen us maybe in our, I think, travel videos and things like that. So today we will be, I think, discussing about the journey she had in terms of applying for the foreign dentist program in US, and what that journey entails, and like what have been challenges, struggles. So you can able to learn if you are a foreign dentist, prospective dental student, so what it may take to get into a dental school. Okay, so I will not take much of your time and just move forward. Okay, Shilpa, so how you're feeling, first of all?
I'm feeling excited, and because my dream is coming true now. So yeah, it's a really big thing for me now.
So just to give you a brief, so she have got invites from 10 dental schools, and she got 3 acceptance, and ultimately she chose UCSF, which is University of California San Francisco, which is obviously near to our house as well. Okay, let's, I think, start the questioning on your journey and what happened. Um, as you are from Punjab,
Mhm.
Ludhiana, so can you tell us about like what have inspired you, or like how that journey went from Punjab to US?
I think while growing up, I was because I watched so many serials, or you can
Mhm.
say like the shows from US, and I was very much attracted to US. And then suddenly I got to know you, and maybe the God has some plans to like move here, and that's why I was already in love with the US. So I think regarding the BDS, my Bachelor
Mhm.
of Dental Surgery, I completed in 2014,
Mhm.
and then luckily I got to know you in 2016, and then we got married in
Right.
2018, and I moved here in United States in 2022. It got delayed because of COVID. Yeah, I almost 3.5 year to come here, and then the next journey started.
Mhm.
When I moved here, I was pregnant. I was going through all that phases of
Mhm.
nausea, and I had some complications
Mhm.
of pregnancy. So I think in between that time, I start preparing for my dental school journey.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I think it have been, I know it's have been so much hard for you, and thanks for, I think, just saying that we have kind of made for each other. Usually that's always good coming from wife. So I think just want to, if you can briefly mention about your journey, like once you graduated, like you got your BDS,
Mhm.
and so before you come to US, like what your experiences you have in India.
So as I told you earlier that I graduated in 2014. After that, I started doing jobs not only in private clinic. I
Mhm.
did some like work with the non-profit
Mhm.
organizations. I started volunteering with some organizations. So I have like diverse experience, almost like 8 years.
Mhm.
Then I moved here. Still, I started like working here as a dental assistant and volunteering here in US.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. So you have been able to see like different worlds within the dental
Mm-hmm.
field itself. So that's always good. And so while you were, I think, having those experiences, did you thought about like what it takes to be in a kind of a dental school, like in an IDP program, like in US? Did you had any kind of knowledge at that time?
I think when I moved here, I just know that okay, I want to do a DDS
Mm-hmm.
because one of my friend was going to like
Mm-hmm.
apply to the DDS when I was like in 2014. I was in my internship period,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know how it became my dream. And I started researching a little bit about it,
Mm-hmm.
but I was not that much into that. It, but still, I wanted to like I want to go to US,
Mm-hmm.
or I want to follow that dream. And suddenly, I moved here, and then I started working on it.
Right. So I think the nature was kind of preparing things for you
Yeah, yeah. I would
to
say
achieve
that
that.
when you start manifesting, it works.
Oh, great. So I think once you,
Hmm.
so we can kind of move to like next phase of your kind of career and life as well, like coming to US. So first of all, like when you came to US, can you just give a brief? Maybe it's a non-dental kind of thing, but can you give me a brief about like what the 2 weeks was about, like when you landed into
I
US?
think when the first time you came, when any person like moved to any another country, it was not easy because you have like leave your family
Hmm.
behind, or especially when you're married and you move here into a new family. It was a difficult phase for me, or especially when I was pregnant. So I was going through some hormonal changes and cultural difference. So it was not easy for me.
Yeah, I can attest to that. Uh, okay, so we have obviously the prospective dental student most probably. So in perspective of in terms of dentistry, so once you immigrated to US, like for next like let's see next 12 months, like
Mhm.
what have been your activities or experiences you have been able to develop within those like initial time frame?
So because to like I wanted to like experience the how the dental things work here, how the people like how the dental clinics looks like in the
Mhm.
United States. So to grab that experience, I want to do a dental job, a dental assistant job. But the issue here that you need some experiences already, and so I did like dental assisting course here. I did some certifications to get a job, and it took me almost I think 6 7 months.
Mhm.
And then luckily when my baby got like 8 months old, I started searching for the jobs.
Yeah, I remember still. I think at that time, sometimes some days were like very hard for you because of pregnancy and like it was difficult to kind of even complete those basic
Yeah.
stuffs. Um, so moving forward, I think you had this time and we had our baby in October of 2022. um so after that, like after next 6 months of that, like how was those like first of all, just mention if you were thinking about like the CAAPID process at that time, or like what you were thinking during those first 6 months of your baby.
I don't think so. Okay, I first of all, when I just delivered my baby, my mind was all around my baby.
Mhm.
So I haven't thought about any exam, anything else. But yeah, you, you. I don't know why he did that. He just resisted my exam when my baby was only 1 week old, and he came to me and told me, "Okay, you have an exam. Like you have to give an
June.
exam within like 6 months." And I was like shocked.
So yeah, let me tell you, I think briefly about that. So I can kind of defend myself. So she was applying for. She already have, I think, dent pin and all that, and I think so she have kind of asked me to assist her in like registering that for the IMBDE exam. But I think the thing was you were not aware, and also I was not aware of
No, not
that.
at all.
Once you kind of register, you become eligible, then you have like six
Yeah,
months
only
to
six
do
months to
for it.
do it.
Means usually I think you had you thought probably like once you apply you become eligible, then it's like depends on you, maybe you have like a longer time
Maybe
frame.
you people know that,
Right.
but at that time I didn't know that when you register you have to give exam within 6 months.
But yeah, so but I get the criticism about registering for the
Yeah,
exam. So once you came to know about the exam, like you have an exam and a baby, so like how you manage all that stuff.
I was stressed. Because my baby was only 1 week old, so I didn't know how the things gonna work. His baby sleep patterns were not like matching with my sleep patterns, and over it,
Mhm.
moreover, he was very like having some issue going on,
Mhm.
GI issues. So I think I just prepped for INBD only for 1 month. You remember, if it was
Right,
just
right.
the last month that when I was realized, okay, I have to give it now.
Yeah, I remember. I think she was very stressful. I think obviously about the
Yeah, I was
exam,
stressed.
because otherwise she have to again go through and obviously another attempt is I think not seen well in CAPIT process, like having multiple attempts.
Yeah.
So obviously while going through this, thinking about that I want to clear this stuff like in my first attempt, and I remember she was very stressful. Obviously I have seen that heat as well sometime because she was getting obviously very much stressed about that. Last year IMBD, probably you got the result, I think maybe within 2 weeks time
Hmm.
frame or so. I can attest to that. She was very happy that that's like one of the exam I was able to pass. Again, it's a very basic requirement.
Yeah.
That's the very unfortunate part of it. It's a very I think hard exam, but ultimately you just came to know it's a requirement. It's like a basic foundation. So moving forward, so after IMBD till you can say like March
Mm-hmm.
of like 2024, like what you were doing, what you were thinking about any plans of CAAPID, or like what your imagination about the process itself or application things.
I was like, next cycle was going to start, and I was not sure that I am
Mhm,
going to apply into this cycle or not.
mhm,
Because sometimes when I want to like prepare for a TOEFL, my baby was not well, or
mhm,
sometimes I don't have like family help, or
mhm,
maybe my mother-in-law has to like go to India,
mhm,
or sometimes you are busy.
mhm,
So it was not like easy. But yeah, I remember then we thought, okay, if we want to apply in this cycle, then we have to give the TOEFL exam. And we booked the exam on 2nd March. And then I just gave it. And when I, if you remember, I just came crying that it didn't went well,
mhm.
because my reading part didn't went well, because I had some distractions. And luckily, I would say like my other parts went
Mhm.
well. So I got the score which I wanted.
So you have been able to gain experience while working as a dental assistant, and
Hmm.
also had a few volunteer works you have been able to do while you were managing the baby. And we will come at that part as well. And in detail, obviously, we will discuss in different other
Hmm.
series of videos for
Hmm.
each of these topics about like jobs, volunteer work, and like different kind of things you can able to do. um,
Hmm.
so next thing was TOEFL, because you have not given TOEFL. So can you just briefly mention about like what that journey was about TOEFL, because that's one of the basic requirement as well.
I remember we thought to like give TOEFL in January, but it
Mhm,
got delayed because of some things, like sometimes my baby was not well,
mhm,
sometimes like mom has to go to India or whatever. Then finally we booked our TOEFL, my TOEFL in March
mhm,
2nd. And then I gave it. And when I gave it, I was not sure that
mhm,
I'm going to get the result what I
mhm,
wanted, because my reading part didn't went well. So but luckily, I would say the other parts went well, so I got
mhm.
the score which I wanted.
So sure, we will discuss that story definitely. I think in our video
Yeah.
about TOEFL, she
Hmm.
have like a very interesting story about that.
Hmm. And I was stressed because we always like listen from other people that okay, apply early, but I was not able to gather the things till like
Right.
I, till like I think the mid of the March.
So you were not sure at that time
No.
about applying or not, because there are
Yeah.
basic things were not
Hmm.
covered. Okay, so next, I think other basic things are obviously SOP, which is the statement of purpose, like why you're like applying for this school,
Hmm.
and like what's the purpose of being
Hmm.
including dentistry in your
Hmm.
life. Um,
Hmm.
so, and also, can you cover about the LOR, which is letter of recommendations? So, can you
Yeah.
mention briefly about like what that journey has
I
been?
think I did that mistake because I was not start contacting with my school like early
Mm-hmm,
on to get my letter of recommendations, which like delayed the things,
mm-hmm,
because sometimes the principal is not available,
mm-hmm,
sometimes the professor from which I like want to get the
mm-hmm,
letter of recommendation is not available.
mm-hmm.
So because I'm sitting here in United States, and to contact in India, it's really
Mm-hmm.
difficult.
Right. I remember. I think you have been kind of at the
Yeah.
night time, just keep
and
on
and
calling
especially
them.
especially when you have like a time difference, it becomes really
Right.
difficult to like be in contact with them, because sometimes I was just like just make my baby sleep, and then after that I'm just calling the people to get my recommendations.
Yeah. Which you I think took some time to get that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think just start preparing early for those and approaching your deans, professors,
Professor,
whichever
yeah.
you are thinking about. And also I think you were able to get a letter of recommendation from the dentist you were working
Yeah,
at.
where I like did a job where I worked with two dentists
Mhm,
here. So they got me like recommendation letters, so I got two recommendation letters from here and two from like from
mhm.
my school.
Yeah, that have been also helped out, obviously,
Hmm.
the application because letter
Mm-hmm.
of recommendation is always, I think, one of the important things you should have. um, so in terms of your SOP, like what have been your process of like doing that? Can you just briefly mention
I
about
think
that?
it's really difficult to write a SOP because you don't know what to like write in
Right.
it when you're coming from different country. And so I think I started thinking about some points like from January. And but still, sometimes you just made so many edits in it.
Mhm.
And sometimes you think that, okay, I want to mention that, I want to mention that, and you like some do random like writing
Mhm.
things. And finally I think I was able to write proper my SOP in, I think, near what I would say the end of the March.
Yeah, I think it was long, and I know I
Yeah, it
got
takes time.
I got opportunity to review that and like
Yeah,
see,
he
probably
helped
I
me
have
a lot.
provide some suggestion which I'm not sure she have incorporated that or not
I did.
before she
I
applied.
did.
Sure, I think she was just obviously getting mentorship from
Mm-hmm.
different other I think professionals involved, and just kind of showing her SOP if it's good in this way to present, because there are so many things,
I think
because
start
that's kind
start
of
early on these things,
right.
because with a baby sometimes I want to do things, but I was not like getting a time with baby job and some household chores. So it was really difficult because to manage time to do all these things. I think if you have a time, then start early on these things.
So coming back to the CAPID process. Okay, so you got your SOP and your LOR like at the end of March,
Hmm.
and so in terms of applying, so did you thought about like schools, like what, how many schools, or what kind of schools and things like that? Obviously, we will kind of discuss more in detail because we don't want to make this video of two
Yeah.
hours because it's hard to consume that much. So just mention briefly about like what that process was for applying, like how many schools you want to apply.
Because when I started applying, I was not sure to how many like schools I wanted to apply. I think I we thought about like 20 schools,
Mhm.
and then when we just get involved in that process, it became like 30,
Mhm.
because we started like, okay, then why to leave this school? Just go for it. Then yeah,
I remember, I think it's when you were applying for it, obviously I think in terms of cost, I think it's a
yeah,
lot,
it's
because
expensive.
like there is a CAPID platform fee, and then there is a supplemental application fee. So on an average, like it's one school is anywhere from $300 to $400. So I can understand. Definitely I have been
Yeah, he
because
has to go to.
because we are not a rich family, just to let you know, like we don't have stack up like 50-60 thousand dollars just to spend on
Hmm.
this process. But again, I think which you have kind of spearheaded that, okay, if I'm applying, I don't want to kind of just
Yeah.
see and just waste my money. If I'm applying for it, then I need to give like 100% of it.
Because
And obviously,
but I don't know, I'm that kind of person. I can put my all energy in one at one time. I don't want to repeat things, because then you like confidence breaks and it take more time to like get back.
yeah, I remember, I think you had that discussion like, okay, I don't want to, yes,
Do the things again and
yeah,
again.
there are
So
like some things which you don't have. Obviously, we will talk more in detail about that, I think in future video, obviously in a moment, about those things
hmm.
as well, about the weaknesses. But I think once you were able to get those basic items, then you thought like, okay, I want to give my all in,
Yeah.
and then just move forward. Again, I think we have discussion about, okay, how we will, I think, do
Hmm.
all these things, and then we kind of made a plan about it. And obviously we have to take some credit and all those things. Um, so so in terms of cost, obviously it was very costly.
Yes,
I
definitely.
think I can at least attest to that the main cost, I think, which came was application. Applying for
Yeah.
it was one part of it. I think, which probably can be like 15,000 or near about that, or like, yeah, near about, I think, 15-16 thousand. But I think the main cost were
It
like
was
traveling,
traveling. Yeah.
like those 10
Because we were
interviews.
traveling as a family,
Right.
because I don't want to leave my baby behind.
So we were traveling, I think about one, two, three, four people. We were traveling every time she had interviews.
Yeah.
Like once we traveled like with five people, even with my brother, because she was going to NYU for interview.
Yeah.
So we thought we have not went
And
to New
especially
York.
for NYU, I remember my baby was not well, and we
Right.
need two more persons to take care of my baby
Yes.
when
Yeah.
I'm like giving the interview. So I was like taking extra people to just take care of my baby.
And it was also another opportunity like for us as family members
Yeah.
to have trips, because we were going with her and kind of just having a trip to a different state. Obviously I never went
I think
to.
I'm fortunate that I got that kind of family because as a mother I'm very anxious. So I always like okay, I don't know how to I'm going to attend like interviews with
Mhm.
my like baby and everything, but yeah, I think I all
But
credit goes to my
no.
family.
No, I think it was hard for her as well, because baby was obviously, because baby obviously he doesn't know like what's going on. Like she have an interview like tomorrow morning. Obviously baby was fussy like for many interviews as well in the
Yeah,
morning time,
and
and you didn't got like a good sleep.
no, and even
But
for two interviews I went crying. I will remember.
right, right, I
I
remember.
was so mad because I haven't slept for like almost 48 hours and I have a bench exam.
Right, and that was very stressful.
Yeah.
Like it was, I think, before you had a training
Yeah.
and things,
Training
and then
session I
you,
remember for
yeah,
NSU
for
and I
Nova
got,
NSU, and
but yeah,
like
it
she like was
got first
very
acceptance from NSU.
she got first acceptance from NSU, Nova South, I think Eastern University, if I correctly mentioned that. So okay, so I think this was the whole process. Obviously we will discuss about more in detail about cost and like all those things.
And how can you manage?
Right. So coming back to, so you got these 10 interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so obviously people would be thinking about like, okay, she's street smart. So in terms of, I think your post graduation work, like in terms of academic work, um, do you have any masters?
No, not at all. I
Okay.
think
Do you have any preceptorship?
no,
Okay. Did you do any residency?
no,
Or did you do any other postgraduate work which can kind of relate to dentistry?
not at all.
So just main thing to let you know, because she was of a person, obviously many people have MDS and like other postgraduate work, which is always good, because if
Yeah,
you have
definitely.
it, because in this highly competitive
Mm-hmm.
process where you have like 1 or 2% passing rate, obviously it's always help any bit of additional things. But you don't have those things. Obviously that was one of the things I remember kind of discussing
I
with
can say
me.
that it was my weakest point because I
Right, I
don't
think she was
have,
worried about
yeah.
that. And I think and you were kind of started thinking about, okay, if it
Yeah.
goes to next cycle, which you were not willing to go, like, okay, should I think about masters or things like
Sometimes
that?
I was like double minded. Okay, should I apply for it? Should I start doing master? And at the same time, no, 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 no. I don't want to do that. I will give whatever I have to do or
Right,
what I have to put in this cycle.
right. So this cycle, in terms of, obviously you have certain weaknesses
Mm-hmm.
in your profile, and you obviously have strong point, like you have 8 years experience. Can you focus a little bit about like what things you, with that mindset, you have this weakness, and other candidates you were seeing like
Mm-hmm.
have a whole lot of postgraduate work experiences or even academic experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of that, like what was your mindset while going for those interviews, and how those things develop over time?
Because I just like moved 2 years before, like
Mm-hmm.
ago in to the United States, so I can't get all those things in like in only in 2 years frame.
Right.
So I was like, okay, whatever I have now, and if I'm going to apply it, I should focus on my strongest points. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I have everybody have I think the weak points, so it's better to I would say cover them with your strongest point.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my main focus.
Right, I think it's a very important, I think, thing you mentioned about, because everyone will have weak
Some
points,
weak
because
points, no doubt.
there will be
Maybe there are some like students who like extraordinary, but I'm
right.
like I would say I was a student who was like average student.
which probably the schools have not thought about like that because of obviously various points they have seen, and ultimately gave you this. So it was not by luck, because by luck things can happen for once,
Yeah.
not for twice or not for thrice or not for 10 times. So probably schools have seen certain things. So coming back to obviously that experiences of the whole, I think the interview experiences, which I think in detail we can share, I think, in
Hmm.
different videos about each school. So with that mindset, you don't have it. Did you do any kind of mistakes like during this whole time frame, and
A
like
lot.
what you have learned out of that, if you
I
have
think
done
a
any
lot because
mistakes?
I just like I haven't researched well. I think when I just started like applying for the cycle,
Mm-hmm.
I think in between the cycle, I think I learned a lot. I think I went for the interviews, I went for the bench exam, then I learned, okay, that's the thing I have to like now work
Mm-hmm.
on it, or I have that weak point. So I think within the cycle, maybe I would say I was fortunate that I got a chance again and again to like
Mm-hmm.
uh, improve myself,
Mm-hmm.
and that helped me.
Because you were able to kind of apply for so many schools,
Yeah,
so you were able to get like so many opportunities to obviously present yourself and show like you are
yeah,
one of
see,
the
yeah.
good
I will
candidates
recommend
to get
people
admission.
or the students to just apply for as much as school you can, because it helps to, or it gives you more opportunities or more chances to get acceptance.
Yeah, I think obviously if you get more opportunity, that makes kind of
Definitely, because
sense.
practice makes man perfect, and I
but
think.
but I think many people may have concern about, okay, there is so much cost involved in
Hmm.
that. Obviously that's one of the
I
things
agree.
you have to think about, because every person's obviously life situations, different factors are very different. Again,
Totally agree.
means with her lead, means we were able to think about as a family, can we invest that much, because we don't come from like rich backgrounds. so
I remember we had a discussion about it, and I was like, okay, I want to apply in one cycle and get everything in one cycle instead of going into another cycle and investing again,
right.
because it's not only about money, it's about time too.
Yeah, it's about time too, and you don't know like next cycle, because
Yeah,
every
it's getting
every year
competitive
it's
day by day.
right, it's every year is getting competitive, and also the exams were added like every year. Last time, like many schools don't have Kira
Yeah, but this
exams,
time they added
or many schools doesn't have that, I'm
Casper
not sure,
exam, but
Casper,
now
right?
more
So
more and
maybe
more schools are
next
like.
year you may have like more exams
Yeah.
to deal with and more competitiveness. So obviously every year would not be less,
And
or would be
applicants are
more easier,
increasing,
right?
so
With more experiences, obviously people have like internet, and they are able to, I think, gain a lot of information out of that. So you are not sure like what will happen in next cycle if I
yeah,
just
definitely. so
make
so
this
my
cycle little easier.
so I would say my advice is, if you're going to apply, give it like a full shot. Don't think,
Right.
okay, let's apply to 4 or 5 schools and see if something comes. Maybe it works for you,
Right.
but I'm talking about the persons who are like average students, or like person like me who are not extraordinary. So
And also, I think you have mentioned previously, I remember, like there were a few of the, I think, people you have met who were prospect applicants, who have like all
oh
these
yeah,
great
who have
experiences,
like TOEFL
great
scores
TOEFL
118.
scores, but they still were not able to get
Yeah,
any acceptance
because I
or
think your full profile matters.
right. So basically you don't know like what
Yeah,
will happen in
what
in,
they're
in
gonna
like
like
next
in you.
cycle.
So I don't know what schools like want, and you can work on it, but still you can maybe get in touch with the previous students, or like the students who are already studying there, but still you can't like be sure that what they want.
Right. Because even the best, some of the best
Yeah,
candidates
I
were
would say,
not like
which I thought
given
like
the
they are the best
interviews.
candidates.
So which were not given interviews, and also they didn't, obviously didn't get any acceptances. um, so uh, so yeah, I think it based on like various other
Mm-hmm.
factors.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you have to kind of make your chances more and more achievable in
Mm-hmm.
terms of, I think, applying, because if you apply for so many schools, obviously the chances are so many less.
Yes.
because there are best of best candidates which obviously get so many schools acceptances, and obviously you are in line, and then
Even
like
I
what
have
will happen
seen
with
some
that?
people who like apply to only 4 5 schools and got accepted. There are some people also,
Right.
but I'm talking about
There are
like
people
from,
as well, I think,
yeah,
who applied for one school and they
they
got
got
at one
acceptance.
school.
Yeah.
But obviously I think there is so much uncertainty, so much uh, it's hard to predict all those things, because it depends on like your applicant pool as well, and like
Mm-hmm.
what profiles they are coming with, what experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and what the performance, because on the time of the interviews, like what performance you are able to give, maybe that's your bad day.
Yeah.
Do you want to kind of have just everything
Mm-hmm.
in one basket? Because maybe you may have a bad day or something happens.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
remember you were sharing something with Alabama, some people were not like able to reach in time, they have to kind of make requests to
Yeah,
make.
because of weather
Right,
or like, yeah.
right, so
Even I
things may
did some
happen.
silly mistakes there because it was my first bench
Right, right,
exam and
and
you're
obviously we will
nervous.
we will discuss all those in like separate videos, because we don't want to make it like too much long. So coming back to okay, so you went through all this, um, and in terms of now after getting acceptance, things you have chosen, like the factors to choose a particular school at this moment?
Because UCSF, you already know, was my dream school.
Right.
So, and it is near, like near to my
Mm-hmm.
home. So, with the baby, I don't want to move because it's gonna be like mess for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got acceptance from UIC, I got acceptance from NSU, and finally from my dream school. So yeah, I'm going to choose that because I think in the
Mm-hmm.
California, it's really a good school.
Right. Okay, so I think it's again everyone's situation factors can be
Mm-hmm.
different, and obviously it plays out in your decision of choosing which
Choosing which
school.
school, yeah.
So again, congratulations. Obviously, I will support you a lot. Just I have to say that, and also I will do that. So I think moving forward, obviously you can able to achieve your dreams about being a dentist
Mm-hmm.
in US, and
Mm-hmm.
also learn a lot, because again, when you are experienced enough, like you, it's hard to kind of learn certain things,
Mm-hmm.
because you already have that, I think, in your mind, certain things. Obviously I think you are able to learn a lot than what you had like from India, and local practices. And at last, I think, so this is our first video, so we will be obviously discussing about like other aspects, application, schools, about I think her experiences. So the main purpose is to share all this
Yeah.
information, so
Mm-hmm.
people who are sitting, because she was herself, she thinks about like she is an
Yeah.
average kind of candidate who doesn't have like any fancy degrees or fancy like academic stuff,
Yeah.
but still she was able to get in her dream school. So which can provide you some information. Probably she's, obviously she's not perfect.
Definitely.
Schools probably have, I think, some other take on that. But obviously she is not perfect, and she doesn't have like all the things which you can think about. So how like her experiences, she can able to share with you, and you can probably see. And obviously you also have, um, you were previously discussing with me that you like to obviously talk with, if an individual candidates like to think
Yeah.
about talking, get some motivation,
Yeah,
whatever
definitely.
kind of journey they
Because
are going
as a
through.
mother, especially as a mother, it's hard for like, you're not sure if you're going to get into this cycle or not, or sometimes you think about your baby, okay, should because to like make some times or do some adjustments are difficult. So if anybody like needs any help,
Mhm.
any counseling or any kind of help, yeah, you can contact me.
That's great. So yeah, I think you should probably just look forward for that, and so we will share, I think, in the description, the email address where you
Mm-hmm.
can contact her, and just be in touch with her.
Yeah.
So any questions you have, whatever I think knowledge you can be able to share.
Yeah, whatever I can give you.
Okay, thank you. And I think this is most probably when we will post this, it will be New Year. So happy New Year for 2025. I hope, I think the CAAPID cycle is coming up again, and I hope, I think, you are able to get well prepared for that, and you
Mm-hmm.
are able to achieve, I think, the dreams of being a dentist, or being like having a career in dentistry in US being fulfilled in this year. And also again, congratulations to you, and most probably just enjoy, I think, some time with your baby,
Yes.
and just go out
Mm-hmm.
now, because you don't have to, I think, just being in a loop now. Okay, thank you guys, and thanks for watching and giving your time. Thank you.